Now, give us your thoughts on the coalition announcement today from Peter Dutton and Andrew Hastie. $21 billion extra in defence over the next 5 years. Not much detail, if any, about what it will be spent on. We know they're going to go for that fourth squadron of the Joint Strike Fighter. That's a good move. What else would the money be spent on? I mean, we know there's a problem with personnel and recruiting and maintaining staff. Do you think we've got enough on the table from this announcement today?
Well, it's a start, Chris, and that's what's important about it, and I back it fully. We do need to put more money into defence. I've done 5 defence programs through the Parliament, and I've learnt a lot, from submarines over to Afghanistan, to the Air Force, the Border Force, and we do need to ensure that we have national security for our country. I don't feel confident or feel safe under the Labor government because Albanese has disregarded the Chinese being in our waters. He thinks that just because they call him handsome boy that he gets on well with them. But I tell you, what I've been told is the word handsome boy is actually an insult. So it's really an insult. It's not a compliment to Albanese. So they probably want to keep him there. He's not going to put up defence funding. By no means. We're way behind the 8 ball. I think it's a good move by the coalition. And when Don Farrow said the other day, he said, oh, well, if we get in trouble and need defence, we can call on New Zealand. Give me a break. I don't think New Zealand will be able to defend us against China or anyone else.
He didn't say that, did he? That must have skated past me. I didn't realise that. That was Don Farrell, was it? New Zealand.
Yes.
I mean, they have no defence force, effectively.
Yeah.
I suppose it's a pity
on the ABC last Sunday.
I'll check it out. This hasn't figured very prominently, really, the debate here. I still can't get over the way Anthony Albanese, instead of admonishing China or demanding more information from China over those live firing exercises in the Tasman Sea, he essentially made excuses for China, ran the argument from Beijing. And he hasn't exercised much alarm about Russia dealing with Indonesia either.
No, he hasn't. And I've got to ask people, if there is a war to break out between Taiwan and China, where are we going to stand with it with the Labor government? What are they going to do about it? Will they actually try and defend Taiwan being taken over? Or what are they going to do? This is important questions need to be asked of Albanese because they said, it could disrupt over there in about 2027. So we've only got a couple of years that this may happen, and if that be the case, we're going to have a Labor government by the looks of the polls, and I hope not. So even that, with Russia, with Indonesia, we haven't been told the truth. He hasn't been forthcoming to tell the Australian people what is going to happen.
Yeah, I've got to get, speaking of polls, I've got to get your thoughts on preference deals. I've talked a lot at the top of the program about Labor and the Greens preferences. You've changed a lot of One Nation preferences to favour the coalition in the last couple of days, including in Peter Dutton's own seat of Dixon, where he's got a very narrow margin. What have the coalition given you in return?
Well, they didn't give anything to us in return. Why it came about, Chris, is we've always had the coalition ahead of Labor, Teals and the Greens. We've always said that, but we had minor parties before the coalition preference flow. But since Clive Palmer came out and said he's actually going to preference the Teals and Labor before the coalition members of Parliament, I thought that's not on, because if we went out before Clive Palmer did, our preferences would possibly flow to him, which would flow to the Teals and flow to the Labor. And therefore, that's why we changed it in about 10 or 11 seats. So we changed it so we would give our second preference to the coalition government, especially Peter Dutton. He's on a 1.7% margin, so it is imperative that Peter Dutton gets back in and wins his seat. And I don't trust Clive Palmer. His talk about, someone has done the wrong by his preferences putting out there, that's a load of rubbish, absolute rubbish. They would have control of it. They own the graphics. They would have sent it to the printers. This is a cover-up because he knows it's been a backlash. He's got his own candidates walking away from him. Yep. He's got volunteers that won't hand out how to vote cards for him now. So it's been a backlash against Clive Palmer, and I'm pleased to see it because he's not good for the country. Yeah, well done and well said. Thanks for joining us, Pauline. Pauline Hanson there, live from Queensland. That is a big issue, the Clive Palmer trumpet of patriots mob. Now, I don't know why people would vote for them. I know some of you do. You have your own reasons. But remember,
his preference recommendations could be very, very damaging for the coalition. A lot of them going to Teals and the like before the coalition. So remember, you have control over your preferences. If you want to vote for the trumpet of Patriots #1, don't forget, go #2 for the coalition candidate. Otherwise, your vote will end up going to Labor.